Comedy at the White House Correspondents' dinner? Hillary Clinton claims she's a capitalist, and a beautiful prom dress? Or cultural appropriation? Coming up on Today with 2 Cents. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Today with 2 Cents, wrapping up your weekly news. Normally on the Liberty Network and on the My 2 Cents channel, but this week only on My 2 Cents, thanks to the bogus strikes from YouTube against the Liberty Network.
Well, I have officially seen every video ever on YouTube. Gotta say, it's not a bad one.
Last weekend, the annual White House Correspondents' Dinner showcased a comedian no one had ever heard of, Michelle Wolf. And boy, did she piss off a lot of people.
Good evening. Here we are, the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Like a porn star says when she's about to have sex with a Trump, let's get this over with. Of course, Trump isn't here, if you haven't noticed. He's not here. And I know I would drag him here myself, but it turns out the President of the United States is the one you're not allowed to grab. A lot of people want Trump to be impeached. I do not. Because just when you think Trump is awful, you remember Mike Pence. Mike Pence is what happens when Anderson Cooper isn't gay.
Maybe it's just me, but does it not seem like female comedians tend to be flaming liberals whose voices sound like nails on a chalkboard? Unfortunately, the list of quality comedians seems to be dwindling every day. But hey, if Michelle Wolf wants to make a go of it, she's welcome to it. If somebody else wants to pay for that comedy, it's your money.
It wasn't funny.
Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu announced this week that Israeli intelligence services performed an incredible feat, stealing piles and piles of Iranian documents that prove that they are not abiding by Obama's Iran deal and remain steadfastly committed to producing nuclear arms.
A few weeks ago, in a great intelligence achievement, Israel obtained half a ton of the material inside these vaults. And here's what we got. 55,000 pages. Another 55,000 files on 183 CDs. Everything you're about to see is an exact copy of the original Iranian material. Iran said to the agency that it had not conducted metallurgical work specifically designed for a nuclear device. But the files again show that this is a lie. Iran conducted extensive metallurgical work, specifically designed for a nuclear device.
People all around the world have very strong feelings about both Iran and Israel. And I'll be the first to admit that I'm in no position to confirm or deny the truthfulness of any statement that either of these countries makes. However, let's be real for a moment. Did anyone ever really think Iran intended to stop its nuclear program? This is a country that has not at all been quiet about its intent to destroy Israel, whom they call the Little Satan, the United States, whom they call the Great Satan, and create an Islamic empire ruled under its own Shiite expression of Islam. They sponsor known terrorists around the world, for crying out loud.
The stakes have never been higher in this nuclear showdown between the Ayatollah of Iran, the King of Saudi Arabia, the Prime Minister of Israel, and the President of the United States.
Guess who's back again? It's disgraced Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton. Mrs. Clinton still insists on making public appearances and explaining why she lost. But could it be that Hillary Clinton lost because she was a capitalist? Seems strange to think so.
You may be the only presidential candidate since World War II that actually had to stand up and say, I am a capitalist. And you did. Did it hurt you?
Probably. I mean, you know, it's hard. It's hard to know, but I mean, if you're in the Iowa caucuses and 41% of Democrats are socialists or self-described socialists, and I'm asked, are you a capitalist? And I say yes, but with appropriate regulation and appropriate accountability, you know, that probably gets lost in the, oh my gosh, she's a capitalist.
Yeah, Hillary, you support appropriate government oversight and regulation. You're not a capitalist. You're a corporatist. That's the very definition of corporatism that you just advocated for. However, it certainly is a sad day when a self-described corporatist believes that she lost because her constituency is becoming more and more socialist. For all its flaws, even a corporatist economy still tends to produce a better standard of living for the people than socialism does. But hey, if the Democratic Party needs to experience the failures of socialism firsthand before they finally admit that it doesn't work, so be it. They'll get exactly what they deserve.
Real communism could work, but real communism hasn't been tried yet. Oh, that's not real communism.
So?
In a news story that no one ever thought would become national news, a high school girl chose to wear a Chinese-style dress to her prom, only to have Twitter bombard her with accusations of cultural appropriation.
She thought it was the perfect dress to wear to her prom, but now this senior is being slammed for picking the Chinese-style dress. The accusation? Cultural appropriation. My culture is not your blank prom dress, goes one furious tweet. And this, it's not something to play dress up with. Keziah insists her choice of the dress, which she bought in a vintage store, was perfectly innocent.
I never wore this dress for the intention of cultural appropriation or racism. I wore it to show my cultural appreciation for the Chinese culture.
So what kind of dress should this girl have worn, I wonder? I mean, have the SJWs ever stopped to wonder how many pieces of clothing they wear that were manufactured in China? Are you culturally appropriating when you wear a t-shirt that was printed in China? Heck, the Chinese aren't even unhappy about this. For them, it probably means an increase in Chinese dress sales next year, so who loses? Grow up, snowflakes, and quit looking for a reason to be offended. Personally, I think she looks great in the dress, and as she said, it ought to show her admiration for Chinese fashion, not her disdain for the Chinese people, or whatever other baloney the SJWs are preaching.
Now, did you know that words we use can show intolerance? Let's begin our tour with a walk through our tunnel of prejudice to show you what it can feel like to be discriminated against.
Queer, Boehner, Chink, Heeb,
Faggot!
Cracker.
Oh man, this is awesome!
Alright folks, it's that time of the week. Time to unveil the Weekly Hottie. Drum roll, please. This week's Weekly Hottie is model Myla Dalbesio. This week, the Sports Illustrated Swimsuit channel posted a video showcasing some of Myla's more intimate shots. And well, to put it bluntly, they were smoking hot. Alright folks, that's it for this week. There were a number of stories regarding the Mueller investigation into President Trump that I could have talked about, but frankly, I'm sick of hearing about that. If Mueller has proof that Trump conspired with the Russians to steal the election, then let him come forward with it. If not, then quit shoving it down our throats. No one cares about Stormy Daniels. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Also, in light of YouTube's censorship of the Liberty Network, remember to follow me on BitChute, Gab, Minds, and all other alternative platforms as well. Links in the description. And that's my 2 cents. Take it for what it's worth.